Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to episode 8 of the LGBTQ Voice. So my name is Tracy Welch. I am a co-producer and going to be co-hosting with Eileen Dugas tonight. Eileen is...
the network coordinator for South Coast LGBTQ Network.
Thanks. So tonight's show, we're actually changing up a little bit. We're going to be talking about drag in our community. What does it mean? What's been going on? How drag got started back in the day. And today's guests are Empress XV, Gingah Rale.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for coming. We also have the Queens of the South Coast. We have Crystal Diamond.
How are you?
And we have Jayla Rhodes.
Hi.
So thank you so much for coming tonight. So we wanted to kind of change the show up each week. We talk about different topics. Next week is bullying. We talked about health and relationships last week. We talked about mental health. We've talked about, God help me, parenting, generations. Yeah, we had youth and seniors on the show together talking about generational gaps. So each week we join you. We're going to be talking about different topics. So we thought we'd change it up and talk about drag tonight. So I actually did some homework with Eileen about why people do drag. So I'm going to ask you guys, so why did you guys get involved with drag?
Well, for me, it was out of fear of drag queens. In 2001, I was 21, and I was working at the Loft for Bob Tebow, bless his soul.
He just passed away.
And it was when 9/11 happened. We were doing a fundraiser at the Loft, and Kitty Litter came to
Hi, Kitty.
To the bar, and I was petrified of her. And I had mentioned to someone, I'm like, oh my God, drag queens freak me out. And they're like, oh, you should try it. Then you won't be as afraid of it anymore. So it was almost a year later. Kitty is actually my drag mother, one of my drag mothers. I actually have two. And she put me in drag for the first time at the Loft. And that's when Gingah Rale was born. And I've been doing drag ever since.
How did you get your name?
When I was a bartender at the Loft, we couldn't drink behind the bar, so I would always say, they'd be like, what are you drinking? I'm like, oh, Gingah Rale. And they're like, Gingah Rale? Because with the Rhode Island accent, instead of saying ginger ale, it was Gingah. So my name is Gingah, Gingah, Rale, Rale. So like, that would be a perfect drag name, and it stuck 15 years later, so.
Cool. Yeah. And what about yourself?
When I started drag, I was, I want to say, a senior in high school. I had been going to the local clubs and seeing all the glamorous queens and thought to myself, good Lord, they are gorgeous. I want in. I'm too scared to get on stage and be who I am in front of everybody. So, from a little help from one of my so-called drag mothers, she taught me how to paint my face and learn how to get up on stage and be who you are and enjoy yourself. And from that day on, Crystal Diamonds was born. I mean, it's been going on 6 years now. I've been to Vegas and back, and she's still here, girl.
And who gave you your name, or how did your name come about?
Lots of white Zinfandel. Lots of white Zinfandel.
Drink it up, girlfriend!
You gotta go.
And Jayla?
Well, I'm from Vegas, so I started doing drag out in Vegas. I used to do it for like Halloween and stuff, like here and there, like, oh, I'm cute, I'm Lady Gaga, like, hey. And then in Vegas, I was like, oh, well, I'll try it. It was before I turned 21, so I couldn't like perform anywhere. But me and my roommate, we used to get up all in drag, and we used to go walk around the strip and think we're like real cute. And these people, they'd be trying to take pictures with us, and so it really got me into it. I looked like a little boy in a dress, but then I met my roommates in Vegas. They were my drag moms, Danielle Honeycutt and Alex Serpa. They actually run the longest running drag show in Vegas.
Oh,
it's
cool.
called Queens of Las Vegas.
Is
That's
that
how we
hence?
got Queens of the South Coast.
Hey.
What I did there, yeah.
Shout out.
So shout out to them. And so then I started doing that, and I started getting really good at it, I guess, and I started getting booked a lot in Vegas. I did a lot of competitions where I would surprise myself and win. And then I was at one point I was one of the most booked queens in Vegas, besides like the RuPaul's queens, because that was always a dream of mine, but I haven't gotten there yet.
So to make it short and sweet, the attention got him.
Yeah. So I know Drag Moms is going to come further down, so we'll talk about it now. So what's a drag mom?
Drag mom is someone that you are inspired by someone that takes time to help groom you and teach you different tricks and different,
Absolutely.
you know, how to do certain things. And like in my case, Kitty was the first person who painted my face.
Yeah.
And then down the road, Kitty and I had a falling out, and that's when Jade Love stepped in, and that's when I joined the Imperial Court of Rhode Island, and she was my drag mom. So I'm lucky I have two.
Very sweet.
And when I got married, they were both in my wedding, so they're special. They're
Awesome.
family.
Awesome. Yeah, to me, a drag mom was someone that gave me the lead into the drag scene. You know, someone that gave me the confidence, someone that taught me the skills to be able to progress. But for myself, I taught myself quite a bit. She didn't really teach me how to sew. She didn't teach me how to style the hair. She taught me how to put the makeup on. And I will be forever grateful for it. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't know what techniques or what steps to take to be able to get to who I am today. But without her, I wouldn't know where I am today. So.
And for my drag parents, it's even further than that. They taught me how to paint my face. They taught me how to make costumes and everything. But they put a roof over my head. They took care of me. It's an actual family bond that I have with them. So that's something that's really special to me.
Cool. So in our community, I do a lot behind the scenes as well as the Queens of South Coast and Empress Gingah Rale. So Gingah Rale and I have done AIDS benefits, AIDS Inc. for many years, and Ginger was going to retire at one point and said, hey, if one of the twins, which I have a twin, would do drag with me on stage, I may stay. And I said, well, I can't do that. Will you do me for Halloween? So Gingah Rale is actually my drag mom. So I think Josh is going to put a picture up of me in drag. So yes, folks, that is me.
Get out of town.
That is me in drag. I won second place to
Come on, Miss
Michelle and
Tracy.
Lori Cannon, shout out to them. They won first place, and I actually won second place. I had the hair, the nails, a fishnet stocking, dress, you name it. It was quite fun and amazing. And people probably wonder how a woman could be a drag queen. Because if you see me on the street, I wear men's clothes, baseball caps, I can be feminine, but I could be drag curious. I could be a drag king, or I could be a drag queen in our community.
And that's today's day and age.
That's today's day and
There are so
age.
many forms
There
of
are a
drag.
lot of
Yeah.
cis women that are drag queens.
Yep.
And it's really cool because they have
It
a
is.
whole
It is.
different, you know, view, and it's neat how drag has evolved.
Oh, yeah. Well, we tried to get all the King's Men on this show as well. It's an all-women group that do a bunch of drag in the Boston area. So if you get a chance, I know they weren't able to hit us back to be on this show, but check out all the King's Men, as well as Ryder Hard from the Imperial Court of Rhode Island. Ryder Hard actually is a drag king, and he actually performed at New Bedford Pride last year for us. So just a couple things about Pride. I was kind of doing some research that Shakespearean time, classical, Chinese theater, women weren't allowed to be on stage. So that's kind of how men in wigs started. And the drag scene kind of started in the 1800s. But I want to kind of tell you guys a little history about 1950. So in 1950, after the two world wars, the U.S. State Department decided homosexuals were part of, I'm going to say it wrong, subversive groups. The FBI and the police would actually take photos and put them in newspapers to get gay people out of their neighborhoods. They kept records. They would sweep bars. They would sweep nightclubs. And we're going to talk about 1969 Stonewall Riots. So drag queens, there was a bar called Stonewall, and the police came in and told it was a mafia-owned club. So the police would come in and raid it. They would have drag queens on their hands and knees in a dirty bar. And they just rioted and said, we're not taking it anymore, basically. So 2 months ago, the network actually had the movie Marsha P. Johnson. So we actually did a movie series, and we have a winter series that Eileen's going to talk about.
Yep.
So what do we have coming up next?
So we have the last Sunday of February, March and April, there will be a film. This month, it's going to be southwest of Salem, the story of San Antonio, the story of the San Antonio Four. Again, it's Sunday, February 25th at New Bedford Whaling National History Park from 2 to 5.
What does it say the movie's about?
It is, oh boy.
You want me to hold it back here?
After being wrongfully convicted of sexually assaulting 2 little girls during the satanic panic witch hunt of the 80s and 90s, 4 Latina lesbians fight against mythology, homophobia, and prosecutorial fervor in this.
That's why she's reading it.
Yeah,
No.
in this now classic gay rights true crime tale that helped exonerate the San Antonio Four.
Cool
The
beans.
film received a Peabody Award.
Yeah.
Peabody Award, so.
So each month through the winter, we'll be doing a movie series. Unfortunately, we don't know the next month. We have to get the rights to it. We just know that we have the place booked and the spot booked. So when we know more of the next movie, we'll let you guys know when it's gonna be. So just going back to drag real quick, again, back in the 1950s, gay men and women couldn't wear clothing of the opposite sex. If you were a woman in the 1950s, you had to wear 3 feminine articles of clothing or you would be arrested. So let's talk about drag and what you guys are doing in the community right now. I know Gingah Rale does a lot with the Imperial Court of Rhode Island, so why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, so last April, I was elected Empress 25 of the Imperial Court of Rhode Island at Providence. And that is part of the Imperial Court system. And the Imperial Court system was founded in 1965 in San Francisco by Jose Julio Sara, who we refer to as Mama. She has since passed. He had this idea back in, I believe it was like the 1800s or something. There was Joshua Norton, who was this eccentric man in San Francisco, and he named himself Emperor of San Francisco. So in 1965, the widow Norton, Mama, proclaimed that she was Empress I, the widow Norton, and started this whole game, which now there are 65 chapters of part of the Imperial Court system all across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. So now Nicole the Great is the titular head of the organization, and she oversees the organization, and Rhode Island is in its 25th year. I'm Empress 25, I was also Empress 15. And our court in Rhode Island was founded by Ralph Martino, B.B. Hayes, Lee Daniels, and Fitzgerald Himmelsbach. What's cool is because of how large Massachusetts is, there's the Imperial Court of Massachusetts, which is primarily in the Boston area. But the Imperial Court of Rhode Island actually has a lot of Massachusetts in their realm, including the South Coast all the way up through to Worcester. So the South Coast has given us a lot of great monarchs throughout the years. Our decade Empress, Empress 10 Mahogany Light, Emperor 13 Earl Taylor, Empress 16 and 20 Diana Prince, and then from Fall River you had mentioned Ryder Hard, Emperor Ryder Hard. So it's been really great. We've always had a great relationship with the South Coast, with LaPlace especially, and Puzzles back when they were open, doing events for the community. And the money, when we do events here in the South Coast, the money stays in the South Coast. So like on Saturday, March 10th, we're going to be doing the Madonna Rama party.
Josh, you want to pop that up?
At LaPlace, and it's actually a benefit for the South Coast LGBTQ network.
That's who hosts the show.
Yes, so it's going to be hosted by myself and my husband, and he's
Who's your
actually
husband?
the Imperial Crown Prince this year, Douglas Sylvia. He's a Dartmouth native, so he's from the South Coast, and that's why we decided to do his party here, and it's also his birthday, so it's going to be a lot of fun, and it'll be good to see. I actually lived in New Bedford for 8 years, so it's going to be good to be back home and see all of my friends in New Bedford at that event.
Yeah, so LaPlace is 20 Kenyon Street. Actually, we just celebrated our 35th anniversary. It's our only LGBTQ bar in our area besides Providence and Boston or Cape Cod for the most part. So we appreciate everything that LaPlace does for our community, for sure.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
So what other funding, like when you guys become an emperor or empress, is there things that you need to accomplish in your term?
Yes, we have the big event of the year is our coronation ball, and that's where the emperor and empress, or in this year's case, the two empresses, are elected. And throughout the year, your goal is to create awareness to the organization, and we're a 501c3 organization that raises money for other 501c3 organizations. So throughout the year, we plan and host events and for different nonprofits, not just LGBT. For our coronation this year, my beneficiary is the Women and Infants Development Foundation, And Roxy Van Cartier, my co-empress, hers is Impossible Dream. So they're both kids. It's not LGBT even related for that. So we help everyone, whether it's people with autism, diabetes. We've done all countless different fundraisers. So it's really cool to be able to give back to everyone in the community, not just the LGBT community. And we have to be visible. We have to attend coronations from surrounding courts because, like I said, there are 65 different chapters. So your goal is to make friends with as many people on the circuit as you can, and have so they'll come to your ball and you go to their ball, and it's you
Social
meet a
networking.
lot of friends. And that's like Mama, when she started this, was a genius, because I have friends that I made when I was Empress 15, and I see them now, and it's like it hadn't even been 10 years that have passed. We're still, you
That's
just
awesome.
pick right up where you
That's
left off, and it's like a big family, and everyone really, we just love each other.
Shares the love.
I just got back from the coronation in Connecticut, which was this weekend, and
Is that what Savannah does?
Yes.
Which Savannah Devereaux. Hi, Savannah.
Yes, Savannah was there as well. She had a command performance. It was beautiful.
Well,
So-
I went to Ginger's coronation
Yes.
last year.
It was fun.
So
Good time.
one of the things I want to let you guys know that Eileen, we always wear many hats. We're actually NB Agley, which is our New Bedford Alliance of Gay and Lesbian Youth. And we received an email from the Imperial Court of Rhode Island letting us know there's a scholarship available. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we're in reign 25 now. In reign 18, Emperor 18, Austin, Big Daddy Austin.
Big Daddy.
And Jacqueline Demera, who actually is my drag daughter and hosts the brunch at Incognito.
Yep.
They started the Memorial Scholarship Fund. And you can apply for it if you are LGBT or if your parents are LGBTQ and all of the letters.
Yeah. Yeah, under the umbrella.
Yes.
We do have, the application is available on the Imperial Court of Rhode Island at Providence's Facebook page. There is there's a folder there with a Google folder with the link for the application.
Yep.
And basically, you just fill out the application, there's an essay, and this year, we actually get to give 2 scholarships because my dear friend Pop Icon, who's an artist, local artist, he actually sold some artwork and donated $1,000 to the court in Judith's name. My friend Judy, who a lot of my friends at La Place know
Yeah.
Judy from the shows.
Judy Jugs.
Judy Jugs.
Judy Jugs.
She was a very special character, and she was my roommate for several years, and he donated an additional $1,000 so we could do an extra scholarship in her name this year.
Oh,
So we'll
awesome.
be giving 2, so make sure if you're interested, you can apply for the scholarship, and then the winners actually get complimentary tickets to the ball when they receive the scholarship.
Do you have any comments? Anybody
I
saying
do.
some stuff? What you got?
So I have, hi Marissa. So Michaela says, hi Crystal Diamonds and Jayla. And Alita, hi Alita. Yay, Jayla and Crystal. Hi Connie. Let's see, Lindsay, love you Crystal Diamonds and Jayla. Who
Any
else?
questions?
No questions. Ask us questions.
Yeah, if you guys have a question, you want to know about drag, Eileen's going to periodically scroll through and we'll be able to answer your questions today. So, and again, right now, we're looking for a commercial or ads for our show. And if you're interested, email leo@newbedfordguide.com. Because once we get the show rolling, tonight's our 8th show, 25% of the proceeds will actually go back to the network, which will help our community out.
That's great.
Yeah, there's a lot that's going on in the community behind the scenes, and again, you guys know that Eileen wear many hats. NB Agley, A Perfect Place, is opening up to a Perfect Place Community Center right now. So Eileen's you want to talk about it?
I do. So we have a lot of things going on. I'm going to give you the schedule and the address. The address is 484 Pleasant Street. So on Sundays, beginning March 4th, we have Sober and Out, an AA meeting. It's 9 to 10 a.m. every Sunday, beginning March 4th. On Mondays, Pride Cafe, and that is 7 to 9 p.m., 18 plus.
And what do they do?
Socialization, movies.
Hangout, social night,
Yeah.
away from the bar scene. It's not an AA group, but it's called Pride Cafe. And they get coffee, snacks, munchies, and sometimes they have a topic, sometimes they don't.
Yes.
Cool.
On Tuesdays, you know,
We're here. Hey.
Here we are.
Hey,
And let's see, Wednesday is a busy night. So we have tutoring, 4:30 to 5:45. That is for 14 to 24-year-olds only.
it's the NB Agley part of it.
Yes. And then from 6:30 to 7:30, beginning this week.
Tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow I'll be there. Come see me. It's going to be a group for LGBTQ youth and their parent, guardian. Some adult has to bring them to the meeting. At this group, there'll be socialization for kids and some sharing of information and resources for parents. And I want to build this group around what the group needs. So whoever attends will help develop this group and what the content of the group is going to be.
I was going to interject. So we were emailed and asked privately on Facebook messages. I have an 8-year-old. There's 3 people in our community right now that have 8-year-old kids that are transitioning or they're questioning their sexuality at 8. What can we do?
Right.
So not just that, we hear from other people, what can we do? I don't know, I don't understand what's going on. So our funding from NB Agley is separate, so we can't help that population, if you want to call it. So we get extra funding from the Lipsky Whitaker Foundation, and we're able to open up to do that. So even though, so right now, our NB Agley Perfect Place is the start of a community center for New Bedford.
Yes.
So we also have.
Thursday nights, NB Agley 14 to 24, and it has an educational component and a socialization component. It is peer-led.
Youth-driven, peer-led with adult support.
Adult support. And let's see,
Fridays.
Friday, first Friday, which the next one will be, I believe it's the second.
Whatever the first Friday of each month is.
Yeah, so March 2nd, I think, is the next one. And that is a socialization group. Again, it's 14 to 24-year-olds. Without adults, it's just peers.
Well, adult support, because our peer leaders are over 18.
Yeah.
So our kids just want to hang out. They don't want they don't want an adult advisor there. So it's
place to
first
hang.
Fridays, they hang
Yeah.
out, play games, do whatever they want to do. And what's happening this Thursday, Eileen? Please tell me.
This Thursday, what is happening this Thursday?
Pizza.
Oh, pizza party. I don't have that. I have that on my other paper. So Thursday night, it's vacation week. You're out of school. Come down to the center. Be there 5 to 7. We're gonna have pizza, hang out, socialize, play
Ages
games.
14 to 24 and be Agley night.
14 to 24.
Yeah, so we just thought we'd get you guys some pizza, kind of hang out. Our funding is tight, guys. Our rent takes most of our money. All our adult advisors don't get paid. We pay our peer leaders to facilitate the meeting. So our rent is $1,000 a month. We get $11,000 a year, figure it out. We're already short $1,000. So we try and get money from wherever we can. We get donations, we're out in the street. So I just want to kind of talk to you guys. Right now, you guys have seen Eileen and I hosting the last couple of weeks. If you guys want to be a co-host on our show, excuse me, send us an email at tracy@sclgbtqnetwork.org or Eileen at sclgbtqnetwork.org. We're looking for a 1 to 5 minute videotape. Why you think you'd be a good host, what topics you may want to talk about, and where you'd like to see this show go. So right now, Eileen and I are co-producing and co-hosting all at the same time.
Right.
So if you want to be on the show as well, and you may have a topic for a future that we may not have discussed, or you may not know what's in our bag of tricks, send us an email, let us know what's going on. Again, somebody did email us back because we didn't have an NA group. So Eileen will be calling you. I'm sorry, we have a lot going on. We were starting the community center. So we have the AA as well on the Sundays coming up. So we do want to do NA as well as the AA, as well as the 8 to 13, the 14 to 24, the 18 plus. So everything is taken care of at the youth center
That's
or
great.
at a
And
perfect place.
Included.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, we're getting there, and at one point, hopefully, we'll get a bigger space, ADA, we'll have working kitchens, because our hope is to get a bigger space, a bigger place where we have clinician work, where we have showers, wash and dryers for the kids to use, we can teach the kids how to cook, do their finances, have shelters upstairs, and maybe at one point, have a space where there's transitional housing and transitional employment for our LGBTQ youth in our
Fantastic.
community.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, we're getting there. Woo, shout out. So we're talking about drag. Let's get back to the drag scene.
I have a question.
Oh, you have a question?
I have a question. Hi, Connie. How long does it take to do your makeup?
It depends on if I'm in the mood.
Amen, sister.
So this amazing.
If I'm excited and I want to do it, like today, it was really quick. I got out of work at 3.
Yep.
I got home and I had my face on by 4:15. But if I'm dragging and it's like, oh, I don't want to do this, it takes a little bit longer. But I've done it for so long now that if I need to get done in an hour, I can be done.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, like she said, I mean, it depends if we're in the mood to do it or not. If you're absolutely thrilled for the gig, then it could be 45 minutes, an hour and a half or so. But generally speaking, to be able to do what I like to do and take my time, I would say about 2 hours.
Shayla?
Well, for me, I like to give myself a good 3.5 hours. I give myself a half-hour shower, shave, all that stuff. Then I take a nice little half-hour nap. Then I start doing my makeup, and then when you get into the makeup, you take a little break, gotta eat something, because the girl's hungry. And then finally get up, and then it's like time to leave, and I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta put my lashes on. I'll be there in a minute. I'm always late.
So we should have probably asked this question ahead of time. Tucking. Conversation to
I
talk
woke
about?
up like this, girl. I'm not quite sure where you're going with that.
So there's some
I cut that off back in like 1987.
there's some drag performers that their men's parts are tucked and rolled somewhere.
Oh, absolutely.
Usually.
How painful is that? As a gay woman, I always go, oh my God.
The first time,
Yeah.
very. The
Yeah.
second time, not so
I
bad.
kind of forget about it.
When you turn 21, you don't really remember it's even
Yeah.
there.
Alcohol helps?
Yes.
Yeah. So one of our question was, how was it telling your family and friends you were doing drag?
For me, it was very difficult.
Yeah.
It's odd. It was more difficult with my mom than with my dad.
I
My
agree.
dad was
I
more supportive. When I was Miss Gay Rhode Island in 2005, I did a big fundraiser at the Biltmore. It was a wedding, and I invited my parents to go. And my dad wanted to go and be supportive, and my mother said absolutely not, and told him if he went, she would disown him.
Yeah.
But he went anyway, and he was there. He went with my friend Kristen and her mom Donna, and he did go. And my mom, even just coming out, my mom she had a really hard time with it. My dad was much more supportive. Now, my mom's come around more with. I think when I met Doug and told her that I was getting married, and we had converted, both Doug and I were raised Catholic, and we converted to Episcopalian so we could get married at Grace Episcopal Church in
Yep.
New Bedford. And at that point, my mom she was much more supportive, but the drag thing still freaks her out. She doesn't want to see pictures, she doesn't want to go to anything,
So does she call your house the Peacock Palace or no?
No. And when she comes, the picture of me over the mantle has to come down.
Yeah.
Like it's very.
De-drag
Yeah.
the house?
Now to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what about yourself?
With me, it was a little easier telling them that I was doing drag, more so when I was coming out. Of course, inside we fear to let them know how we really feel. I have to agree with Ginger though. My dad was so much more supportive than my mom. She gave me the phase,
Yeah.
which eventually turned into her buying my jewelry. So to this day, I like to call my mom my momager because she is my manager for all our shows,
Yep.
and my dad still comes in to support. So it's a great support that we have on our end, and I couldn't be more thankful for it.
And Jayla?
Yeah, I've luckily had a really good support system with my family my whole life, because even when I started doing drag, that was like 5 years after I come out, so like they're already kind of used to it. But the first time I did drag Halloween, my mom helped me sew the costume that I wore. Her best friend is gay, her other best friend's lesbian, so she's all for whatever. And then my dad, he was always like, oh, it's a phase, and then he kind of realized, oh, it's not a phase, so it's okay.
They have a hard time accepting at first, but then thankfully.
So on our March 20th show coming up, just FYI, we're actually going to be having a show on coming out stories. March 16th, is a movie coming out called Love, Simon. It's a high school boy telling his road through high school. And we're actually taking our NBA Ugly Youth on the 17th, and we're going to interview some of the people coming out of the theater, hopefully they don't mind. And we're going to broadcast some of what the people who followed the movie on our 20th show of coming out. So just FYI on that.
I have another question.
Oh, a question.
Yes, hi Tracy.
Hey.
Not you, Tracy Rose.
Hi, Tracy Rose.
Did you lose any family or friends when you decided to do drag? Is there anyone that you lost connection with?
Personally, no. If anything, my friends had a tough time getting into it. We kind of hid it from the side of the family that didn't really care for us. But as far as my friends, they wondered why and how and what got me into it. And once they came to one of the first shows, I've had many of my straight friends that I grew up with that still come to support me to this day. So,
Oh, good.
thankfully.
So one of the things we talk about drag in our community. So Incognito has a drag brunch. Sandra, shout out to you guys. So Jacqueline DeMera, Ladiva Jones, and Violet. What does Violet have a last name?
Violet.
Thank you. They actually do a drag show at Incognito. It's amazing, and all three of those were Empresses of Rhode Island, of
Yeah.
Imperial Court of Rhode Island. And Jacqueline DeMera, because Kitty Little moved away. Kitty, you know you were South Coast Pride's host. I did ask Ginger.
I was just
Yep.
too busy. I was
Yep.
there. But
Ginger came.
I'm not a
Definitely.
microphone girl.
Yeah.
I'll do a
Yep.
number.
I'm usually
stand
behind the
around and
scenes
be
kinda
pretty,
guy.
but I just,
Yep.
I don't like
Takes a
talking
lot
on
to
the
banter.
microphone.
Yep. But Jacqueline is actually our new host
We
for
keep it in the
South Coast
family
Pride.
though, 3 generations.
Yep.
You know, Kitty, me, Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. Yep, most definitely. So I just want to give you a shout out to that. And what are you guys doing lately that's in the communities at Queens of South Coast? Can you give us some time for Ginger?
Well, being from Vegas, you know, we took a little winter hiatus because it's
Hibernate.
cold around
Too cold for
here.
you?
But thankfully, this month we're back at it. This is one of our first. Well, I should say last month as well. But this upcoming Friday, we are at Pembroke, a fabulous restaurant called Arrow.
Oh, with my daughter,
With
Edwina
Miss
Jeffo.
Weena.
Yep.
We're there with her every show.
Yeah, I want to say it's once a month.
It's like
gig,
it's
once a month.
every other month, kind of.
And
Depends.
and you guys were at La Place last year for a short time.
We were,
Yep.
yeah, a couple months there.
Yep.
It was tough trying to bring the crowd there every week, and then it came down to once a month. And unfortunately, a lot of drama in the community put
Yeah.
a halt for me
You know-
because it's a lot of work for us, and to be there every weekend with negativity.
I
is not
agree.
fun.
You know, I love La Place, and I'm real honest. I know people call it La Dump, and I'll say it out loud. It's our only local gay bar, guys.
is,
You know,
it
we discriminate in our own bar.
That's one of the things that really upsets
boggles
me.
me.
Definitely.
It really
There's
does.
so
Let's talk
much-
about it.
Let's talk about
Let's
it.
talk about
There's
it.
so
It's your
much
new
infighting
subject.
and
Need a
negativity
button.
in the community.
Yeah.
I mean, how are we supposed to get along with the straight community
If we can't
if
get
we
along
can't
with
even get along with
ourselves,
ourselves?
right?
And there are so many people who they bring so much negativity and hate to our own people. Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand it.
And again,
we should be
People
working together.
that go to La Place don't really want to go there for a show. They just want to go there to drink and dance, and like they don't understand. They don't want to come and support local.
I agree to that. We do a lot in our community, and I always say I have a couple of close friends that will come,
Yeah.
and we've done AIDS benefits for years, and we get people to come and come and come, but when we have one event of our own at the bar, like crickets.
Right, yeah, right.
And we're like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, I hosted Pride myself, because Pride was gonna stop, and I'm like, oh my God, I put $1,000 into it, what if I get nothing back? I only wanted my money back,
Right.
and I'm freaking out, going, oh my God, and I'm like, really, where was everybody? But they came, finally, thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
I don't wanna swear, but we SHIT bricks. You know, what's gonna happen, what's going on, you know, we put money up, a lot of people put money up in expenses, you know, and we talk about discrimination. I was on the Cape Cod Gay Pride Committee for years, and I said the same thing that Ginger just said, how do you expect us to get, you know, if we can't get along in a meeting, how do you expect the world to accept us out in the street?
Right.
And that's one of the reasons that I left.
Absolutely.
It's
you know?
heartbreaking.
It's very
really,
heartbreaking.
That's why I left when I stepped back from doing drag
Yeah.
and moved to New Bedford. And it was just like I didn't feel, I lost my love for it.
Yeah.
And then I decided when I moved back to Providence, I said, well, let me give it a shot and see what
Yeah.
happens. And the community had changed quite
Yeah.
a bit. And I felt like I needed to do it. I had unfinished business. So, but it really, I think Facebook has added a lot to
Yeah.
it too, because people just, they may not have the balls to to say things to people's face, but
Yeah.
they'll tear you up on Facebook and they hide behind the keyboard and
Oh,
it's, you know, it's
Absolutely.
just, there's so much hate speech that people do to our own people. We need to get past that.
So I'm a welcome wagon wherever I go, and I'm at La Place, and I love the bar to death. Well, I walk into the bar, and the old timers were sitting there, and new lesbians were playing pool, and I'm like, oh my God, new people, I'm gonna go say hi. So I said to the old gang, you know, hey guys, I said, who are they? Like, oh, we don't know. Like, why didn't you go say hi? Because nobody said hi to me when I first walked in this bar. I'm like, stop it, break the cycle, and stop being an old
Absolutely,
lesbian.
absolutely.
So I go over to the new gang, hey, how you doing? I'm Tracy, what's going on? Hey, do you know this one, this one, this one? Next thing you know, it just needed that one person to go say, hey.
Yeah.
You know, next thing you know, everyone's hanging out, having a good time.
Yeah.
I think, you know, breaking the cycle, saying it's not okay. You know, like Eileen and I talked at Nativity Prep School, and we're talking about bullying, you know, and everything starts somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
Stop the madness, be nice, be kind. If you see something, you don't have to get up and fight about it, but you can say, hey, that's not cool, please don't do it.
Absolutely.
Well, and it's like when new girls come to town or,
Yep.
you know, just start doing drag, the people who have been involved for a long time, you know, they put their guard up because they feel like, you know, oh, well, we don't want them to take our spot,
Right,
or
right.
Yeah.
instead of being welcoming and learning new things
Yeah.
from, you know, people from new areas. So it's just, you know, we need to work together. If anything's gonna change, we need to be strong and be one to be able to fight this idiot in the White House. and
Absolutely.
make
Oh,
some
God.
change.
And that's where
Yeah.
we start small, is in
Yeah.
our community.
Right,
you
we
know?
have to start in
Yeah.
our own bars, in our own community, and show love to each other there, so then we can move forward and, you know.
So what do you guys have advice for any of our younger kids that are trying, that want to pursue a drag career or to get into it?
Be yourself.
Exactly what
Don't
I
try to
was
be
saying.
anyone else.
I see the tutorials on Facebook of these little kids, and they get their makeup on, I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean,
they're
Ginger,
adorable.
it took me
Makeup
2
looks better
hours
than
just to do
ours.
mine, I'm like, I'm good, thank you for shopping. I'm like- And then Ginger did me real quick for an AIDS benefit, I actually did the door in drag, collecting the money.
Oh,
I have a couple shout outs.
Yeah,
All right. Hi, Tony. So Tony said that he tried to get a pride together in Fall River and he had no support from the community. So, Tony, go ahead.
good, so Tony, we actually changed New Bedford Pride this year, because the South Coast LGBTQ Network now has Pride. It used to be South Coast Equality that did New Bedford Pride, and it is actually South Coast Pride. So last year we were changing it, it was formerly New Bedford Pride. South Coast Pride actually does all of South Coast. So come on, our Pride is when?
Oh,
God help me, June 2nd.
Second. I
Yeah.
want to say June 3rd all the
And
time.
where
June
is it?
2nd.
it's still in the park?
Buttonwood.
It's in the park.
The park, Buttonwood.
Yeah, we have it in Buttonwood Park. So we're gonna have more information coming up next month on Pride. And I think 2 months from now, we're actually going to invite Rhode Island Pride, Worcester Pride, Boston Pride, your mama's Pride, your daddy's Pride, and we're gonna have a Pride show as well.
Fun.
I have more. I don't know who can speak to this, but for some reason, gay guys won't say hi to each other because they think if they say hi back, it's an invitation.
Ah, well, ladies, could you help us out there?
There's a difference between inviting and being friendly, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
especially today's day and age when they have all the social media to be able to connect for sexual reasons.
I
online.
blame Grindr for that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Grindr,
Grindr.
Back in
Fish.
the day when I came out, you had to go to a bar to meet people. I mean, we
Yeah.
had Manhunt, I guess, and chat lines, but Grindr makes it too easy. It's like people
Absolutely.
are just so stuck in their phone.
And they do it right
don't-
across from each other at the bar.
Right in the
places.
bar.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yep.
So, like, a lot of the social skills that people had are gone because everything is through the phone. So,
Absolutely, and I think it's evident in the younger generations that we all sit in the room and we text each other and
Oh,
we're
yeah.
not talking
And
to
it's
each
easier
other.
for the younger generation to be able to shoot a text message across the room to another that they're interested in, instead of walking up and mingling and talking and.
Yep. I remember Seven Hills
Socializing.
Behavioral Health Twist used to do the Valentine's event at the bar, but the funding got cut. So every Valentine's Day, they'd get together and they would have a dating night. So if you liked somebody, you would tell Cupid, and Cupid would deliver the message to somebody at the bar.
Yeah.
You know, but unfortunately, the funding stopped, and they weren't able to do that anymore.
Say hi to David.
Which David?
Hi, David. David.
Hi, David.
Oh, our David?
Hi, David.
I know, but I have a lot of odd Davids. I have
Hi, David.
I have
How are
Dave-
you?
I have little David.
How was
David
vacation?
DeMello. Oh, where is he? He's in Punta Cana or somewhere.
He's-
Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
Yeah,
He's one of our
hi.
adult advisors for NBILE as well.
I wish I was in.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
As
David.
well as John Masson. So there's 4 of us that are adult advisors for NBILE. So
And,
I'm sorry,
Hi,
wait,
Brenna.
there's more.
and who else? Let's see. Shailene says, thanks for going to Nativity. It means a lot.
Oh, I appreciate that, thank you.
And Tony says, we held a candlelight vigil after the Pulse shooting.
We
and
did.
We thought, let's have a pride next year, and it was never able to come together. So come see us, South Coast Pride.
Definitely.
June 2nd.
Yeah, and actually, I'll talk real quick about it since you're on here live now. 9:30 in the morning, we actually have Jeff Costa again doing our yoga in the park. Then we have Dr. Rocha, the New Bedford Well. We'll do a wellness walk, a 1.9 mile walk around the park. That's not for me. And then Pride's from 11 to 4. So we're actually going to, at Incognito, where they're doing the drag brunch, they're going to have a pre-party at Incognito and an after-party at our local gay bar, La Place, and I love La Place. As much as, we just complain about what happens at the bar, trust me.
It's not just the place either,
Yeah.
it's everywhere.
It's
Correct.
everywhere.
It's
Most
every bar,
definitely.
everywhere.
Yeah,
It's
it's like, people are privileged and they don't take the time to say hi to somebody else or take for granted what someone's going through. And that's why we do what we do for the ages 8 to up, because there's issues and stuff out there. We want people to know that we're here to help.
I have a question though.
I would
Tracy.
love to answer it. Help me.
Tracy, you said you weren't gonna do the walk around the park, but are you gonna do the yoga?
Oh, wake up, your dream's over.
Just wondered.
You guys, you gotta understand that behind the scenes, I am the events chair. So I am running around with a chicken with a head cut
She's
off.
a busy beaver.
I'm a busy beaver. So yeah, last year I wanted to set up our tent up front, so the network's tent was way down in Connecticut, and the stage was way up in Rhode Island. So that girl was running back and forth, and I was tired, and then I had the
She
after
got
party.
her 1.9 miles.
Oh yeah, I got my 1.9 miles, wrapped that thing in one place. And then I had the after party at La Place. So from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. at La Place, we have an after party. So we have an outside DJ that hangs out. It's DJ Nicole Lopes. Hey.
Hey, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Hey, girl.
She's actually the DJ that we have for 90% of the events we do for the network, because she's done AIDS and she does usually the first Fridays at La Place. So she does our events, and she should be DJing our March 10th.
March 10th,
What do we have coming up March 10th?
fundraiser.
Are you
Madonna
sure?
Rama.
No, that's hers.
You said March.
I know, I did.
You mean March 17th?
I would love to talk about it on our Facebook page. So our community gets together. What are the needs of our community? You're gonna talk about that.
I am.
You are. So we are doing a health fair. It's our first annual community health fair. Join the fun, bring your family and enjoy a day of health, resources, and inclusion. This event is created for our LGBTQ families and community, regardless of age, sex, gender, sexuality, and ability. It's Saturday, March 17th. I'm getting Gingah Rale's event mixed up, I'm sorry. March 17th from 10 to 2 at UMass Dartmouth Star Store Campus, 715 Purchase Street, New Bedford. Again, you can find this on the South Coast LGBTQ Network's Facebook page as well as it's attached to the LGBTQ Voice, this TV show. I call it a TV show, even though it's Facebook Live. We post a lot of the stuff in our community on that as well. If you would like to be a vendor for that, please, there's information down below. You can email us at info@sclgbtqnetwork.org, or you can just use Eileen or my email and we'll pass that information along. So yeah, we're trying to get the community involved, and Eileen's just gonna let you know something huge for our community right now. And we think it's huge.
So South Coast LGBTQ Network wants to hear what the needs of the community are, how we can support you, what's missing in our community, what you want to do for fun. So in order to get that information, Alicia, hi Alicia.
Hi, Alicia Patrick.
Alicia created,
And she was one of our NBILE youth that aged out, went to college, came back as an internship, and called me up and said, Trace, I want to help the community. I got hours to give you. What can we do for you? And I'm like, I got the job for you.
Yes.
Bam.
so she created a survey. It is completed. It will be available at the health fair. It will also be by Saturday on our website where you can click and fill it out online. Or there will be paper copies available if you do not want to use the computer. If you send me an email at What's my email, Tracy?
Eileen at sclgbtqnetwork.org. Ching!
I can either mail it out to you, or you can stop by and grab one from me at the office. We can arrange something so you can get access to a paper copy if you don't want to do it online. And we'll use that information to create new programs and possibly outings and social events so that we can get together.
Yeah,
and
figure out the
be able-
needs. What are the
Yeah.
needs? Transportation? Is it housing? Is it senior issues? What are the issues of concern? Is your doctor, do they say they're LGBTQ friendly, and are they really?
Right.
You know, what are our needs here? Why do our youth that are transitioning have to go to Fenway in Boston? Why don't we have something in New Bedford?
Right.
You know, those are the needs that we're looking for, and there was 80 questions, 100 questions?
I
There's
don't
a
know how
crap
many.
load.
It will take you
Yeah.
about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And a lot of the questions are optional. You don't have to answer them all, but if there's
Yeah.
some piece that you want to have input in, please fill it out. It's anonymous. It can be anonymous,
Yeah.
or if you want to put your name on it, you can. If you want to become more involved, then add your name on there, and one of us will give you a call.
Yeah, so one of the things we did is, it's gonna be laptops set up around the health fair, as well as, we're hoping maybe at Pride, we'll also have some laptops available as well, and paper copies for our youth and elders who don't like computers. So I wanted to make sure we had it. And what we're gonna do is every year, we're gonna do add questions or take away questions depending on if the needs are met. And every year be able to do a community needs assessment to find out where we're going and what is what we're doing enough?
Right.
And how do we get to that point? We talked about having a community center, having transitional employment for our youth and seniors. We want to work on a mentoring. We want to mentor our elders with our youth and get the elders out of their community, get our youth out of their community and pair them up.
Great idea.
There's a lot of things that we're working on behind the scenes that, God help me, woo! I lost my hair this week because no, just kidding. I needed my hair cut. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So one of the stuff doing our research for drag is RuPaul's Drag Race. I think, looking back, that's the best thing for our community right now. It's a 9th season. From what I remember, I don't have that notes, I left it in the other room. They've received Emmy Awards, GLAAD Awards, and.
Yeah, it's definitely mainstream these days.
Yeah, you know, I mean, to see this, what they do, the tucks and rolls and the dips and the whips, I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing.
I think it's also hurt our community though.
So please
It
let me know.
has.
I think for the mainstream, it's been good because it has brought more awareness to the art of drag, and, you know, a lot more straight people appreciate drag and appreciate the thing. But I think the cattiness and the way that they talk and they treat each other has made a lot of the newer drag queens
Afraid
feel
to
like
be
that's,
themselves.
it makes them afraid to be themselves, but
Yeah.
it also makes them feel like that's the way you have to act towards each other, like
Yeah.
mean and catty, and, you know, that.
It's a learned
I
trait.
feel
Or
like
you have to be this way, or you
Yeah.
have to look
things-
that way. or-
exactly. Like
Makes
people-
it a lot harder to stand out.
Exactly, because everyone wants to, they all paint alike now, they all, you know, you have 6 or 7 queens that all started at the same time and they all do the same look and and it's just, you know, like, it's good, it's really good, and I think it's great for visibility and accepting, you know, having our allies accept drag queens and accept the gay community. But at the same time, I think sometimes it hurts the community because things are a lot more, there's so much more fighting and so much more
Competition.
competition than there was when I started doing drag. It's really, it's a double-edged sword. I think it's fun and it's entertaining, but at the same time, I think it portrays a much more, you know, like everyone at their throats and the reading and like, you know, like they make it fun to be negative and call people
Right.
out and talk nasty about people instead of like, but it's TV, it's the entertainment aspect of it, so.
And with Drag Race being so mainstream these days, we can't forget our local drags.
Yeah.
You know, our local gigs,
So
our local
people don't
venues.
care about local queens because they're not drag race.
Right,
queens.
they
Yeah.
only wanna
So-
see, you know, when like,
Somebody in the highlight, yeah, the name, like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
when they
Yeah.
bring in a drag race star, they'll go and see them, but they don't support their own
Local.
people.
And
It's-
we said that earlier about LaPlace, I didn't go to puzzles as much, I mean, I loved the Quahogs back then. I got some
So
popcorn,
did
some
Doug.
Quahogs, have a beer, chill out. But let's talk about the expense. I know that some of the events I've been to, jewelry gets missing, Stuff gets missing, and that's expensive
Vegas
crap.
is the worst for missing
Yeah,
stuff.
so.
Because there's so many
I mean,
queens.
your jewelry, and I know, and here's the other thing for drag queens, they won't wear the same outfit the next time you see them. So it gets expensive, so tell us about
It
that.
can be expensive, especially if you're a title holder, or if you're someone who has that caliber of drag. Like these girls have that higher caliber. They always look very put together. Very, they're at different levels. You could say there are people
I
who
agree with
just
that, 'cause you
and
see
there's
some,
nothing
they
wrong
slap
with
makeup
that.
on, and they're like, oh, I'm a drag queen, and I'm like,
But there's nothing wrong with that. If you're
Yeah.
comfortable and you feel good doing
Yeah.
it that way, then
Then so be
God
it,
bless
right.
you. But some of us,
Two thumbs
once you have that, higher, that
You have to maintain.
you need
Yeah.
to maintain
It's
it,
like
and that's where it
once you
gets
taste the
expensive.
caviar, you can't go back.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and that's where it can be expensive when
Yeah.
the jewelry, the gowns, the hair, when you're paying $150 to $350 for a wig,
yep.
And just the wig.
just the wig.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. I mean, I've paid for updos anywhere from. It's insane, but you're able to. You have to be entertaining. You have to be fresh. You have to keep people's attention. You have to keep them wanting more and to see more. So it was funny. I was talking to the girls at work today about doing this, and they were talking about pictures from Connecticut's coronation. And
Yep.
they're like, how are you going to outdo that for New York? And I showed them, and I'm like, and they're like, I don't know how you do it. And it's tough, but luckily I have a supportive husband who lets me
Hi,
do
Doug.
what I need to do. And I mean, but sometimes I get the slap on the wrist, cut it out and slow down, because it's addictive. It's
It is.
an addiction,
So, we know that you all have day jobs,
Yeah.
so you work at Estee Lauder, what do you do there?
I do. I'm a counter manager for Estee Lauder at Nordstrom and Providence Place. And I was with Macy's for 5.5 years, but they eliminated my position. So now I'm lucky enough to be at Nordstrom. And one of the great things about Nordstrom is that they do a match for your volunteer time.
Oh, wow.
And they give you $5,000 a year
Yep,
so they give you $10 an hour for your volunteer time. So I've logged all of the time that I've been at my meetings, at my events, everything
Yep.
for the Imperial Court of Rhode Island. And now, for last year, I'm getting about $4,000 donated to the court from Nordstrom.
Oh, wow.
And now it started over, February 1st, it starts over with another $5,000.
Yep.
So they're a really great company to work for. They had a group at Rhode Island Pride marching with the parade, which is amazing.
I'm hoping to have Belle on the show. Belle
Yeah.
is also,
She's one of the 76ers. one
yeah,
of the
I was just gonna say that,
original-
she's the original
She
76er, hi
started-
Belle.
She started Pride in Rhode Island
Yeah.
and was
And Bill-
a two-time emperor
Yep.
of the Imperial Court of Rhode Island. That was a dear friend of mine.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get Belle, and I know Joe Lazzarini is now Mr.,
He's
well,
the
he was Mr.
president
Gay
of
Rhode Island
Pride.
2012, but he's now the president of Rhode Island Pride, so we're hopefully gonna get them up when we do our Pride show.
Awesome.
So I forgot, I know what you guys do you wanna tell us what you do for your day jobs?
Sure. I actually work for a private ambulance company here on the South Coast. I dispatch and communications office. That's what pays the bills.
Yeah.
I used to work at Sunrise Bakery, but we just moved forward, so now I'm a
Yeah.
housewife. I make I style wigs
So,
for dogs.
so who's your wife?
This is my.
I know, but the community does not know that. Yeah, so I just wanna kinda put that out there. So, go ahead,
I'm just gonna do a time check, Tracy.
that's all right.
You have 4 minutes.
Oh, that's okay, we're gonna go over, just a few minutes over.
Okay, and I know, just to touch
Yeah.
back again, I know we had talked about that we'll be in Pembroke this Friday
Yeah.
with Edwina, but to keep it here in New Bedford, we do a monthly show at the Panthers
Panther
Club.
Club, yeah.
Which is 43 Madeira Avenue, Bedford. It's once a month, and like we said, we were on a winter hiatus, but our first one will be March 31st, and we're actually doing a drag bingo. So
wow.
for the elders, or the elders, I should
Elders,
say,
yeah.
that enjoy the gamble and enjoy a little entertainment, and sometimes a cocktail on the side, you can come on down and then enjoy that time with us.
Fun.
Cool beans. So one of the things we were, when we were doing our Googling, we were trying to get Josh to get it up. Tu Wong Fu, the movie Tu Wong Fu. It came out in 1995, and to see Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, and John
Leguizamo.
Thank you. As drag queens, I mean, to have these manly men, you know, dress up as drag queens and see that. So if you guys haven't seen the movie yet, Tu Wong Fu, thanks for the memories, Julie Newmar. It's a great drag movie.
It's a funny movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it really portrays drag life, though. 'Cause
I
it
agree.
carries a
No,
bowl of
yeah,
how many
no.
yards of secret fabric.
I
I
totally
don't
agree.
carry that in my car.
Just like
So-
Priscilla. Priscilla's
Yeah.
a great movie.
They're very entertaining, they're
Yeah.
funny, but it's not real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how amazing, though, they look.
It is funny to see them, yeah.
Just to see manly men. So we're just gonna talk real quick about, I probably lost it somewhere. Yeah, I probably left it
What
in
is
my
it?
other notes. Not the Jerry, to the Maury Show, talking about personas and perception of people. Years ago on the Maury Show, he had women come out and they told him it was a beauty pageant show. So the women came out in all their gowns and everything, and the crowd's like, woo! Then they said, oh, they're gonna change into their bathing suits. So they expected them to come out and be, they were actually bodybuilders. And the crowd was like, huh? If they came out as bodybuilders first and then went in gowns, the perception would have changed.
Right.
So when we see different people in our community, look for who they are, you know, and be kind. You know, whether somebody has $5 to spend on drag or $500 to spend on drag, they're being themselves to what they can be today.
Right.
Tomorrow may be different. So we talk about drag moms. Where can somebody find a good drag mom? What can these kids do? Because we talk about, there's some people that don't want to give back. They don't want to
I
pay
mean, and not
forward.
necessarily a drag mom, but being
Yeah.
friendly within your entertainment community. You
Yeah.
learn a lot from your sisters. That's how we got to where we are today. We ask, we help each other, we learn tips and tricks of the trade from each other. And that also plays into the part of saying hello to one another when we're at the bar or
Right.
when we're out in public. You know, don't
Yeah.
don't shun them because they're new and you might not know their face, but
Yeah.
meet and greet, get to know each other, and for all you know, one day you'll work together and they'll teach you things that you didn't know.
And you have to be open to learn. You have to be open to
Absolutely.
take advice. Like if someone, you know, you can't, there are nice ways that people, I mean, sometimes people are just downright mean when they give you advice, but like you gotta take that criticism and learn from it and grow from it. And if someone says, oh, you don't do this well, you should try to do this, go on YouTube now. Now,
Yeah,
like
it's
when I
amazing.
did drag, we didn't have YouTube for the tutorials and,
Yeah.
you know, I've learned a lot. I was lucky enough to be friendly with Natalie Gay LaShore, one of my girlfriends who passed away, who taught me a lot of stuff. And it was funny because when the girls came to the area and I saw them, I'm like, oh, that's like Natalie. So you could
Yeah.
tell, like, when people come to the East Coast from the West, you'll learn a lot from them because they do their makeup more pageant, more fancy. It's bigger, it's bolder, it's
Yeah.
brighter. But that doesn't mean that the girls from Providence do it wrong.
Yeah.
It just, it's a different, but everyone needs to respect everyone's kind of drag. There's no right or wrong way, it's just different aesthetic. So it's important to be, open your heart to everyone.
So one of the things we were talking about earlier is outreach. So Eileen and I are adult advisors for MBAGLE, and we go to schools and we teach outreach. So we'd be more than glad to go to your school, your community center, our senior center, your employment. If you've got, at my last job, I had a kid that was transitioning. Well, what does that look like? How do you handle your employees, you know, the bullying? I mean, obviously, this is zero tolerance, but sometimes people need education. We talk about condom administration, we talk about bullying, we talk about, you know, safe sex practices. Unfortunately, we talk about suicide. We talk about cutting. There's so many issues out there that we could bring to the table. So if you guys want us to come and talk to your group, email Eileen at sclgbtqnetwork.org or Tracy at sclgbtqnetwork.org.
And I want to add that it can
Please.
also just be basic information. If you don't know the language to use, the vocabulary,
The pronouns.
the pronouns.
So we actually have a gender spectrum show coming up as well.
We
So we're
do.
gonna go over pronouns, folks, and you're gonna learn a lot.
Get out your notebooks.
Get out your notebooks. We're actually, maybe Mike and Josh can put a link up.
Yes.
That way you can print them out and not have to be writing down, going, what'd you say, what'd you say?
Yeah, so even, it can be, you know, as big as suicide or safer sex or those topics, but it can also be basic vocabulary, how to make your business, your school welcoming, let
Yeah.
people know that it's a safe environment for them. It
You
can
guys are
be-
going to Taunton soon, right?
Yeah, we are going to Taunton,
March something.
yes, in March.
In March.
In March, and talking to the GSA there, so.
Yeah, and we just talked to Nativity Prep, and Alicia Patrick, one of her other jobs for us, for her internship, is she hit up the other GSAs in our area for us to kind of go in and talk to local GSAs, see how our group can help and what their needs are as well. So there's a lot of things behind the scenes that we do, to get ready for the show and make sure that our kids have a better life. But we need ads and commercial space for our show to make money, so that money goes back to the community. So again, you can hit up leo@newbedfordguide.com. We actually had more news and stuff we were gonna talk about tonight, but what we're trying to do is each week, we're gonna break it up. We had some great guests tonight, so we went a little bit longer. But we're gonna try and do in the news, community news, LGBTQ news, as well as some funnies.
Right.
So last week, we had a bunch of funnies that we're not gonna have time for tonight, but we'll save them for next week. So yeah, please tune in for next week, because next week's show is on.
Bullying, next week's show is on bullying, yes.
That's an important topic.
It is,
It
we'll
is.
talk about bullying,
It is.
experiences in school, experiences in the community, so yes.
And that came up at Nativity Prep. The 12-year-old asked us, how do you deal with bullying? I'm 12 years old, so we'll talk about that next week as well.
Yes,
Do you guys have anything else you want to close with?
Just come to Madonna Rama March 10th at La Place and Coronation 26 at the Omni on April 21st.
Sweet.
Absolutely. And we just want to say thank you for having us.
Yes,
It was
absolutely.
Cool beans.
It was a
an
pleasure.
absolute time.
that is it. And Tony, yes, we do have vendor space available, so send it-
Tracy at sclgbtqnetwork.org, and hopefully in the next few weeks, we'll be able to put that out there. Rhode Island Pride, guys, if you're on their Facebook page, they already have their vendor information and all stuff already out there this week. So Rhode Island Pride has its Facebook page, go on. If you want to sponsor them, if you want to be a vendor for them, go on, and next week, hopefully, the next couple of weeks, we'll have New Bedford Pride as
Yeah,
well.
likewise with us as
Yeah.
well. You can find us, the Queens of the South Coast, on Facebook under Queens of the South Coast. We do local gigs, we do events. I mean, you can book us for your private parties, but we're here in New Bedford, so come on down and see us sometime.
All right.
And the website
Please.
for the Imperial Court of Rhode Island is icriprov.org, and you can find me on Facebook, Gingah Rale.
Gingah.
Gingah, Gingah, Rale, R-A-L-E. So, thank you so much, Tracy. This
I
has
appreciate
been
it.
great.
We
So nice
appreciate
to
it.
meet you.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you.
Appreciate
Well,
it.
it's always a
See you next
pleasure.
week, guys.
See you next week.